I want to talk to you for a moment about the military. We are in America and we have a very formidable military. We have the Navy, the Air Force, the Army, and the Marines. And also we have the Coast Guard, which is a sub aspect of the military. So the Air Force, I think it's obvious that it protects us from opposition and or enemies in the air and even on land. They are equipped with machine guns, 50 calibers if you will, other highly sophisticated machinery as it relates to ordnance. They have missiles and bombs as well. And then we have ships that protect our waterways, our oceans. And they have a plethora of arsenal as it relates to weapons as well. Then we have the ground forces. Originally, the Marines were intended for amphibious attacks and or assaults on islands and shores. Their port of entry, as it were, would have been on islands for the most part. And they are very similar to the Army. The Army typically comes in after a place has been softened up, so to speak, by major artillery, and then the foot soldiers will come in to get control or gain control over installations, uh, civilian populations, and even military personnel, and to secure a particular objective, just in general. I am a military veteran, United States Army. I've served in the reserve aspect of the Army and also active duty Army. The purpose of this video is to shed a bit of light and to get you to think about the military. I have known hundreds of men and women that have served in the military. I've served alongside many of those people that I have known. And my viewpoint of the military as I'm standing here today is that I would never, ever, ever, in this day and time, encourage anyone to join the military. It does not mean that I'm not a patriot of America, because I am. I love this country and this land and the particular freedoms that it affords us as compared to other nations and or lands. But what I don't like is the politics that control our existence here in America. I only speak in respect to America. We have sent, we collectively, our so-called governments, over the past 100 years, we have sent men and women to war for political reasons and not because someone has done anything wrong to us or even threatened our security here in America. If you do your research, if you study, you will find that every war that America has ever had, it was not because someone attacked us, someone threatened us militarily. It was for some made up agenda. It's always about prosperity, what they call America's interest. Anytime you've heard presidents use the term America's interest or the United States interest, they're talking about this money. They're talking about wealth and power. That's their interest that they've been referring to. This country, America, under the guidance and the control over the powers that be, has sent many millions of men and women, even very young men and women, to die for no good reason at all. Killing other innocent people of different nationalities for no good reason at all, other than that of greed, dominance, capitalism, just to throw their might around. I'm sorry, this may not be what you want to hear. You may be very or highly upset if you are a veteran who has served in a military campaign before. You may have even lost loved ones in a war. I honor you and I respect you for your service. I honor and respect the memory of all of those lives that have been lost in and during wartime. But it does not change the facts. If you were to ask yourself, if you are a veteran who survived any particular war, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, or the Gulf War, or the Iraqi War, if you ask yourself honestly, why were we there? Did you ever ask yourself that question? Why was America ever on someone else's soil fighting? Don't you think it's interesting that you have to leave this country and go to another country to fight on their land? Let's look at it like this. If you were in your house, your physical domicile, and someone kicked the door in, and several people came in to do harm to you and your family, and you stood your ground and you fought back, that would be understood and it would be acceptable. Because you're fighting on your own land because someone invaded your space. That's never happened in America. No one has ever come here, feet on the ground, bombed this country, and we had to fight toe to toe on this land. It's never happened. So, let's go back to the scenario of someone coming in your home. Let's say that those same individuals that came in your home are in another state in the country. And they're saying some things to you by way of the media, the radio, the newspaper, the internet, and the television. And they're saying that they don't like you. And they're saying to you that you're the worst people in the world. So you leave your state or your city and you go to their state and you attack them because the things that they're saying you don't agree with. Now, let's switch back to who I'm referencing. That is what America has done in all of its major war campaigns. No one ever came over here and planted their feet on our soil and attacked us, and then we fought here on this soil. But people have not complied with certain demands of America over the years. So America says, through its so-called government, well, if you don't want to play ball with us, we'll make you. We will pound you into the ground because you're not agreeing with us or we want to pay X amount of dollars for oil, and you're trying to have us pay twice that for oil, hypothetically, okay? Or you won't sell us this particular commodity, and we need it as part of our economy. Or one of our friends or neighbors over there that has a country next to you, you are terrorizing them, terrorizing them as well, because you have a stronger military. We'll tell you what, we'll leave America. We will send our Navy, our Air Force, our Marines, and our Army forces over there to beat you into submission and make you do what we want you to do. So, just generally speaking, this is what America has been known for. But the American people have not been told the truth about why we have been in war. It's always a political reason, as I said before. It is an agenda that America has, as I said before. It's not the American people's agenda. It's the people who run America, who wear shirt, suit, and ties behind closed doors and sit behind a desk with a pen and paper, who have determined that we go to war. Because war is profitable at the expense of hundreds of thousands and even millions of lives over the past 100 years. That's the truth about war. So, are you able to answer the question, why was the United States, or America more properly, involved in World War One, World War Two, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, and even the Afghanistan War, the Iraqi War, and too many other smaller wars that's continuing on today that they don't make the general public privy to. Now, all of the ones that I just mentioned, I'm not beating up on anyone. I'm not discrediting anyone. I'm just saying it is sad that we have to expend our resources and the lives of other human beings to go to war for a politician's agenda. It is. But it's the truth. Now, again, all of the wars that I just mentioned, you don't have to attack me when you respond. Speak like a man, speak like a woman, and tell me intellectually why we were involved in those wars. What was our purpose for being there? What was our purpose for being in Vietnam? Answer that question intelligently. Answer the question why we were in Iraq. And we all know that it wasn't about weapons of mass destruction. And we all should also know it had nothing to do with 9/11. Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with bin Laden. We all know that. So why were we there? I'll just leave that as it is. Leave it to you to think about. So, getting back to what I said earlier, I'm a patriot of this country that I love dearly, America. But I'm not a patriot of the political machine. I don't subscribe to that at all. And I would never encourage my friends, my grandchildren, or my children to ever go and join the military because it doesn't represent what it's supposed to represent. And that's no fault of all of the dear soldiers and airmen and Navy personnel, Marines and the Army and so forth. It's no fault of theirs. We've been sold a bad situation. We've been given a bad deal. Propaganda has tried to rear its head and make us believe that we are representing something that is honorable, and we fell for it. We want to believe in our country, and we do believe in our country, but we can't believe in those that are running our country. It's time for our country to have a good house cleaning, and it's really up to the people, not the politicians. That's all I had to say. This is Brother Teacher. What say you?